Hello, everyone. Welcome to Mapping with the Moon. This is our final gathering together. And this is a moment where we meet under the dark moon. This is a time where we plant our seeds and connect with what we are releasing and letting go of. If you are here live, please say hello, share where you're from. I'm so happy to be with all of you today for this final gathering. Thomas, I'm so happy you're here. Welcome. So we have gone through a lunar cycle together. We went through eclipse season together. And now on this dark moon, we are in this threshold where this new paradigm is so present for us. Tamika, hi, I'm so glad you're here. This new threshold is so present for us. And we are navigating some really, really interesting times. We are in this space of newness where the life template, so all of the conditioning that we grew up in, and whether or not we consciously bought into it, the life template is all of these things that we think we have to accomplish and do, and the people we have to be. All of this that is in our bones, we are so present to the illusion that is before us, and we are so present to how it is time. It is time to move forward. So many of us are afraid of uncertainty. So many of us are afraid of change. But it is in the unknown, which is filled with change and filled with uncertainty. That's where the magic happens. So for this new moon that we're in, and this new moon is happening in the zodiac sign of Pisces. And Pisces is the dreamer of the zodiac. And whether or not you're someone who knows a lot about astrology, or whether you do know plenty about it, this energy that's present with us right now for this new moon is this energy of dreaming. It's tuning into that possibility. The North Node, which is one of the lunar nodes, this is a concept in astrology that, while it's based on a calculation, it shows us where and when the eclipse is going to happen. We just went through eclipse season. And more than that, it shows us the direction that we are being pulled into. And with this north node that's showing us what we're being guided into, we are being pulled into a place where we're asked to trust our intuition, where these boundaries and these labels of us versus them, it's this kind of a concept, this us versus them, that it's kept this myth of society, this life template running for so long. And in this time with the lunar node in Pisces, the north node in Pisces, we are asked to move through that and to dissolve this us versus them thinking. And this can feel uncomfortable. I'm looking at the chat right now. Thomas, you're so welcome. I'm so glad that I'm here, and it is such an honor to do this with all of you. So as you tune in with yourself right now, as we meet for our final gathering of mapping with the moon, take a moment to connect with your dream and the seeds that you are planting for the future. In a new moon period, this is where we can allow ourselves the clarity to know what we want to move toward, what we want to put our energy into. And our moon, Luna, will support you in that. So take a moment to tune into the seeds that you're planting. And it's really important that you do have some agency in what it is that you want. Some of us are too afraid to be honest with ourselves about what we want. We maybe want someone else to tell us what we want. But it is important that we can acknowledge this for ourselves. And perhaps some of you who are listening to this, maybe you're really clear about what it is that you don't want, what it is that you don't want happening in your life, what it is that you don't want happening in the collective. This is a time to get in touch with your ideals, the ideals you have for the collective, as well as those intentions and ideals that you have for yourself. This new moon being in Pisces, it has a configuration going on where Neptune, who is very much, Neptune is the modern ruler of Pisces, and Neptune holds these codes of compassion, of dreaming, and oneness and intuition. But with that can come a lot of ungroundedness and confusion. So it's a really good idea that for this new moon that we connect with the seeds that we are planting The law of gestation is the universal law that reminds us that things don't happen in an instant. They grow and they develop. And there are things that maybe in your life you've noticed that it feels like it's coming from out of nowhere, but if you connect with yourself, you'll see that this has been a slow burn, that this has been something that's been coming to fruition over time. And for the goals and intentions that you have had for a while, maybe some of these things haven't happened yet. Maybe you feel discouraged about this. This is a reminder that it's okay to change your approach, and it's okay to release attachment. Attachment is when we put our self-worth into what someone does or doesn't do, or into something that does or doesn't happen. And we can attach our personal value to that. And attachment also can create a lot of confusion, and it can make it to where your energy is not focused in a way that supports your vitality and where you're going. This new moon, this new beginning, this dark moon, asks you to release attachment and to be willing to change your mind about something. I'm hearing that there are some stories and some beliefs that are present that are at the forefront of your mind. And that it's time to accept that there is another way forward. And to just notice where you're getting stuck, where you're getting distracted, what's grabbing your attention. There's a pattern that wants to be seen right now. This pattern is something that I call the illusion of absorption. The illusion of absorption is one of the illusions of relationship that it separates you from love. So the love of you in spirit, the love that you have from trusting yourself, the love of receiving new outcomes and joy. The illusion of absorption separates you from love by fixing your mind on all the wrong places. It can have a know-it-all kind of attitude to it, where there are phrases that you notice, like, this is the way it is, this is the way it's always been. And while you may have plenty of evidence to support that, like there are experiences that you've witnessed in your own life that support that, it's also an illusion, because you have a choice on where you are going to put your energy, what gets your attention, how it gets your attention. Colleen, hi, I'm so glad you're here. So let's take a moment right now and let's tune in with what's present. What's present within you right now? What wants to be seen? In my membership space called the Clarity Portal, this is a place where for my community, I do weekly transmissions, short daily messages, and a monthly energy forecast. And for each of the weekly transmissions, at the end of the transmission, I ask what wants to be seen. And this is a question that is coming through for all of us today on this dark moon for mapping with the moon, our final gathering. And this question points to something that it could be in shadow. And when I say that something's in shadow, I'm referring to something that just hasn't been brought to light yet. But this is something that wants to be brought to light now. And it's something that even though we are in the darkness with this dark moon, it's something that we can sense and know about ourselves. It's what Spirit is calling forward for us to see and to recognize. So as I say this, what's coming in right now is this reminder that Venus, the planet, the archetype of love, of relationships, of self-expression and values, she's in Aries right now. And Aries is a fire sign. We're about to be in Aries right now. Aries is all about passion and moving forward and really being true to yourself, to your individual self. And Aries can have this energy of impatience. And with Venus here at this time and with this new beginning that we have with this dark moon and this new moon, and as part of this dream that we have, what wants to be seen right now is our values. Not the values that other people told you you should have, but the values that you yourself have. Maybe there have been values that are great for some people and something you really want to adopt as your own, but it doesn't work for you. A couple things are coming in right now. An example, it's a personal example. Around, I think it was 13 years ago, I decided that I wanted to heal a lot of the trauma and the anger that I had toward religion. And to do this, I wanted this whole experience in my body. So I enrolled in this Catholic retreat. And I was noticing how triggered I was the whole time. And my roommate ended up turning me in for being a witch. And it was the best experience I could have asked for because I got to face a lot of those fears that were in my bones. So what wanted to be seen was that witch wounding. And also for me to acknowledge that no matter how hard I may try to fit in or how I can move into something with all the best intentions. It may not pan out the way that my junior, and junior is the word we use for ego, that my junior wants it to. So what wants to be seen right now are the stories that you've told yourself, the experiences that you've had, and to maybe check in with yourself about what is ready to be seen, what is ready to be healed. Is there something that you have been like obedient to or loyal to or conforming to that doesn't work for you anymore? Kelly, I'm so glad that you're here. Thanks for saying hi. Colleen, I'm so glad you're here. I'm glad that it's resonating. And anything that comes up for you, please write it in the chat. I love connecting with all of you. Yeah, so just taking a deep breath here as we continue. What wants to be seen? Another example that Spirit is bringing forth to me along this subject of relationships is that so many of us are experiencing that our roles are shifting. We're noticing the expectations that we've put on other people or other people have put on us. And this can be a conscious or unconscious thing. There are likely roles in your life, relationships that you're in, where you can feel this yearning to be in more integrity, more in union, more true to yourself. And it's almost like you're telling yourself that can't happen, because if you're true to yourself and if you express what is authentic for you, then these relationships will not last. And what's coming in is that we need to give ourselves and other people grace, because when we start behaving differently in these relationships, other people are going to have a reaction to that. And you could be very attached to their reaction. Now, this doesn't mean that how they react is right or it's wrong or it's good or it's bad. You have a right to decide how that feels to you, but notice the expectations that you're putting on it. And to realize that any conflict that you have, it's an opportunity for more connection, for more love, and that you don't have to harm or self-abandon or sacrifice yourself for that. The illusion of sacrifice is the illusion of relationship that encourages us to work extra hard so that we can earn love and get that approval, often to the detriment of ourselves. So Colleen says, what wants to be seen? The stories I create when things don't work out how I want. I'm taking a moment with that because it's so powerful for us to notice that. Because when things don't work out the way we want, that's an opportunity for us to maybe look at what we want and to raise the bar on what we want. We don't have to double down on it, but when things don't work out a certain way, it's often for a reason. So many times we think that if we do A, then B is going to happen. But the universe is full of surprises. And while things can be very simple, what we can do is we can really, our juniors and our minds can really come in with all sorts of stories, and it makes things interesting, but it can also, it can take our focus away from what it is that we ultimately want. And when something doesn't work out right away, it's oftentimes in process, right? So another note to add right now, Mercury is still in retrograde. Mercury is in Pisces, which is such a creative place for Mercury to be. It's not a very straightforward place. And when Mercury's retrograde, and especially in Pisces, there can be a lot of frustration over the lack of directness, over things feeling confusing, things taking longer, processing, not like feeling like we're slower to process things. And on Friday, which is March 20th, the beginning of Aries season and the equinox, Mercury goes direct. So I'm bringing this up right now because there's this feeling of, in this dark moon, new moon that we're in, new seeds want to be planted. Some of our ideas may need to be transplanted, and we can see how maybe there's some new soil that's needed. And something new is in bloom. Something new is happening. So we are in this moment where this is the magic hour. This is where you keep your focus high, where you are honest with yourself about your vision and what it is that you want. This is such a sacred, amazing time to move forward. So as we transition into our collective reading, for those of you who are here, if it feels aligned, let me know how this feels for you, what's coming up for you. And if you will, take a moment to close your eyes with me. I'm going to take a sip of tea. So take a moment to connect with your breath. And to connect with yourself about the seeds that you are planting and what you are growing. This moment, this is a great time to look at what you have grown. This is something that you have not given yourself credit for. This is something that you have cultivated. maybe you've overlooked, or it's something you don't think is that big of a deal. Spirit would like for you to identify that. And it may not come in so direct. It could be a feeling or an impulse, or simply the desire to see that. And maybe it's something that will visit you during this new moon. And now, as you connect with this, notice any parts of Junior. Again, that's our tender and funny word for ego. And notice any of the stories, the different obstacles that you perceive, the excuses. Notice all of that. No, for some of us, and on some days especially, it can be a lot. Notice. We are observing all of this. We are not absorbing any of it. And now we're going to do what we've done on the last few calls. Notice your posture. And take your arm and move it across your body. And you may need to open your eyes to see me. This gives you your own bubble to observe and not absorb. None of this has power over you. Not even what it is that you want. So now we're going to take any of the attachment that we feel to something working out a certain way, and we are going to recognize through observation, this is just energy. And we are going to use it in service to our enlightened vision, knowing that when we do this, it supports the whole. And so it is. So let me know what came up for you all around that, if it feels aligned to share. I love the phrase observe, don't absorb, because it is so easy to sense what's happening and then to feel overwhelmed by it, or to over identify with what's happening in the collective. And when we do that, we can disconnect from ourselves and through what's important to us. But when we observe and don't absorb, it can give us such clarity, and it protects our energy, and it keeps us sovereign as well. And in this space where we have love and we are not attached. Colleen says, that felt great, letting go of control. I'm so glad. Donna, I'm so glad you're here. She says, I was born 1 to 2 days before a new moon. I love that. You let everyone know this is what it's time to let go of. Handle it now, because I'm coming in, since you were born during the waning phase of the moon. That is so cool. Stephanie, I'm so glad you're here. Yay, she says, to moving forward. And Colleen is raising the bar and contemplating new offers. That's amazing. Stephanie says that's a good point. Awesome. Yeah, so I've mentioned this on a couple of the calls before. I am now enrolling for my new group container. It's called Reclaim Your Lunar Flame. So if you're someone like me who resonates with finding your rhythm and you connect with spirit through ritual and through this contemplation with yourself, much like we've been doing here with mapping in the moon, you may really resonate with Reclaim Your Lunar Flame. I will make sure to put a link to that in the comments. This group is not for everyone. It's capped at 6 participants, and there is an application process, and that's to just really plant the seeds for your intentions and for your dreams, and to really allow for that deliberate connection with it. So Kelly says, so exhausted right now, especially from all the upgrades and letting go of the bad energy and into better energies. Totally. I so get that. Yeah, eclipse season. I know we're not in eclipse season anymore, but I'm definitely still feeling it. I'm debriefing it. I'm integrating it. And there was a lot of new energy, a lot of jolts that happened, and letting go of the bad energy. The way that I like to think of it is it's so clear when something just isn't aligned anymore. And where we've been holding on to something that was never ours to begin with, if we've been absorbing something more than observing, doing that emotional labor, or we're conforming to a role that doesn't work, all of that is so exhausting. So this new moon at the very end of Pisces season, before we move into Aries, and when Mercury goes direct, this is really showing us what does not support the bigger picture or our dream or how we want to move forward or what our values are. So we are about to go into the next portion of the reading, which is our collective reading. And after that, we'll go into our mini readings through the card pulls. But right now, as we start this collective reading, let's all just take a deep breath in. Let it out. I just saw a comment come in, so I'm going to read it. It's from Tamika. She says, feel overwhelmed, trying to love and support while guiding and teaching, and move from feeling like I'm failing to things are great, to not doing it right when outcome is 2 steps forward, 1 step back. I so get that. And I'm glad that you mentioned this, because this wants to be seen, because what's coming up for someone else is something that all of us can look at, and it will support all of us to see, as we're all here together creating this space together. And Junior loves to tell us that we're failing. And I'm laughing because when we do something that's new, or when we're or when we've been doing something and we've really committed to it, we're in a good rhythm. Junior loves to come in through the illusions of drama and perfection, loves to come in and let us know that we are failing. And all of this is here because you are on the verge of something new. Like you are doing new things, new neural pathways are being created. You're making these new choices. Remember at the beginning of the call, we said things don't just happen overnight when we talked about the law of gestation. No, it takes time to grow, to go from a seed to being planted and growing. It takes choices and continued choices for something to grow. So it's often right before a breakthrough that the failure gets really loud. And that's because we can give so much attention to that loud voice of Junior. I get asked a lot, like, how do you tell the difference between your intuition and your ego? And I'm writing an article. I'm going to share it on Thursday. So for those of you who are on my email list, it'll be easy for you to get it. But a great way to tell the difference is the quality of voice, how your body feels, if you're in a frenzy about it, and if the voice is really loud or nagging, and if it's something that you've been hearing for way too long. We connect more with our intuition when we start to listen more to ourselves. And this can be being aware of all the stories that come up, all the things that want to be seen, so that we can be clear on what trips us up as we move forward. Yes, Colleen says bad/wrong. Yes. I love telling myself that, yeah, something may not be totally healthy for me, or I don't resonate with this, or I don't like how someone's handling something, but is it wrong? Maybe. Is it bad? Maybe. But it's also good to just, for me, not to give it so much power. It's just like, it's either aligned or it's not aligned, and trusting that. Okay. So as we move into the collective reading, I am going to say a centering prayer. It's not religious. It's just to get us all focused and what we need to hear to support us over the next lunar cycle. So let's take a deep breath in and out. In and out. Divine creator and creatrix, divine creator and creatrix, divine creator and creatrix. Our guides, our allies, and our angels. Our guides, our allies, and our angels. Our guides, our allies, and our angels. Our ancestors and our higher selves. Our ancestors and our higher selves. Our ancestors and our higher selves. Thank you for being us. Thank you for being with us, for mapping with the moon. I request spiritual assistance in ensuring that what I say is accurate and authentic, and that it supports everyone who's watching this, listening to this, whether live or to the replay, and navigating with trust and love and confidence, and in feeling supported on their way forward. Everyone, take a moment to set your intention for this part of our time together. What would you love to receive and create? And so it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, I'm going to start laying these cards down. And if you want, you can share that intention in the chat. When I do these collective readings, I do like to have cards with me, as it gives me something to respond to. Okay, so what Spirit wants us to see right now is that the energy is very social. There is lots of learning happening. We are guided to look at how we, as in humankind, how we have conditioned each other on our values, or how we go about our lives. We are asked to notice that, and to also remember that every single one of us is here for this experience. This is such a radical time to be a human on planet Earth right now. Things are absolutely so intense. We are becoming more and more sensitive. We are seeing more and more through all of the bullshit. This is happening collectively, and you are guided to notice who you are in relation to the group and in these values that you grew up with, and in these values that maybe groups that you're in hold, but maybe you are noticing that there's something different for you. Some things aren't adding up. And this is a time of exploration. This isn't a time to be right. That's the phrase that just came in. This is a time for exploration. This is not a time to be right. So many of you will only do something if you're guaranteed the outcome that you want, or if you know that you're right. We want you to try new things, to experience yourself in it. And this is coming forward as a way to remind us that, again, that illusion of absorption, that's a pattern that came up at the beginning of this transmission. We may want to be right. We may have some very rigid views about how things are supposed to be. And we want things to follow these clean lines that we're used to and accustomed to. But guess what? Right now in 2026, all of that is changing, and we are in the unknown. It's a big spiral. No one really knows what is happening, and it's time to really let yourself experience this whole way forward. And Spirit also wants you to know that the things that you want, they're taking longer to get here because it's not time yet. That divine timing is here, and that there is hope in moving forward, and that your patience is absolutely required right now. Spirit is letting me know that impatience is something that will get you off track the most. And I'm grateful we're getting this message right now, because we're going into Aries season, where we can all be a little impatient regardless of where Aries is in our chart. Spirit wants you to notice how you hold yourself back. Like, again, what are the labels that you give things? What box do you put yourself in? What are you trying to maintain that is no longer working for you? There's so much expansion that is happening, and it is just time for you to move forward. So what I'm thinking about is like, I have a vision of somebody who, for some reason, like, they want to be able to fit into the jeans that they wore in high school. And that has become a goal. And I'm not saying that's anyone here's goal, or it's I mean, maybe it is or not. There's no judgment on that. But you can't wear the same clothes that you used to wear. You have changed way too much. It is time to look at the identities that you're attaching yourself to look at what you have given yourself worth to, who you've given your power to. And it's time to see how that's just not how you have to operate anymore. The keys of liberation are here. And Spirit says it's great to be in community. It is great to connect with groups. We all are here to collaborate and connect and co-create and move forward together. But there needs to be time for solitude, not isolation, but solitude, so that you can differentiate yourself from everyone else and from the collective, and what's expected of you and what's not. You are asked to really pave a new way forward, and to release whatever you thought was successful or great before, because the mask is slipping for all of us. And going into this next lunar cycle, this new moon, this new year, because really on Friday, when the equinox happens in Aries, this is the astrological new year. So it is time to move forward as you, even if you don't know who that is yet, even if you haven't given yourself the space and grace to move as the person that you've become has. This is a time to dance and not have an agenda of how it's supposed to look. The illusion of perfection is out the window. And what will come from this is you're going to be given an opportunity. It's an opportunity that you've had many times, and it is more of an invitation on how you will respond to something from the person that you have become, the person that you're becoming, and not the wounded person that you have been. You could have an opportunity to maybe go back, like, this is an example, like, to go back to a toxic ex, or there's something that you want from someone, it finally happens, and while you can be grateful for that, you are asked to really move forward with that integrity, and to have that union come between you, and not based on what others think. Wow. So that is our collective reading. I would love to hear from all of you. I'm going to take a sip of tea and look at the chat. Ruby, I'm so glad you're here. She says, I'm looking for a clear path forward, heart-centered. Ruby, I get it. And clarity may come more after Friday when Mercury goes direct. So for now, we can go with the feeling and just really embrace the unknown. So Colleen says, time for exploration. Yes. Stephanie says, so relatable, putting myself in a box. I get it. I do. Okay. So now we're going to move into the next part of our session, which is where I'm going to do card pulls for all of you. And again, for Reclaim Your Lunar Flame, which is my 9-month group container that is capped at 6 participants, we always connect with the lunar cycle. We look at what's happening in the collective, and there's a real tuning into what is present within you so that you can really move forward with that integrity with yourself. So, Tamika, that's Gabelina in the back. Isn't she just so pretty? She's my cat. Okay, so who would like a card? I'm using the Psychic Tarot for the Heart Oracle deck by John Holland. I love this deck for card pulls. Been doing it for so long. So who would like a card? I'm not going to draw one for you unless you let me know. Grace, I'm so glad you're here. Hello. You are going to start us off with the card pulls. I'm so glad. Okay. Grace, your card is Simply Love. Your message is coming in through this feeling. I'm feeling that when you give your sacred attention to anything, it lights up. And what Spirit really wants you to know is to simply love yourself. If you're noticing something about you or about someone else in your life that's maybe pinging something within you, Spirit is saying simply love. And this doesn't mean that you need to make excuses for anyone else, but you simply being present with you and your feelings is the most tender and important thing you can do, because again, what you put your precious attention into lights up, and love is creativity and love is the greatest healer. Thank you for starting us off. Mike, I just saw that you're here. I'm so happy to see you. I love this. I'm going to pull a card for Ruby right now. Ruby, your card is Success and Growth. Wow. So this is the energy that is pulling you forward. This is a time of success, and you are really asked to take this mindset of getting in touch with yourself about what success actually is, what lights you up, what feels like growth that feels really exciting and liberating, and to follow that thread. There is so much waiting for you in this new chapter, so much empowerment, so much light. I'm going to check Instagram. Okay, I don't see anyone there who wants a card. Thomas, this is yours. Your card says Control. And I'm noticing also that the card that came before you has the number 8 as well. And this card has the number 8. And what I see about this card first and foremost is the eyes that are here. So what I'm seeing is there's some kind of mindset or some belief system that is not yours. It feels ancestral. So elders who have passed away, relatives who passed away, some family conditioning that is here and present and wants to be seen. This is something that is causing you to guard your heart. And for all of us here, and really everyone who's on this call, all of the cards are assisting all of us right now. So when I look at this for Thomas, I think of the illusion of control, which happens. A way that we can break free of the illusion of control is to be vulnerable. And it can be scary to be vulnerable because you're so good at keeping things together and getting things done and having this authority that you have. But this vulnerability, that's the breakthrough that is going to allow for you to connect with these heart eyes that are here that are being covered by these wings. So this is a time for you to break free of that conditioning, and you can do that from a place of love and noticing where you're putting your precious attention. Kelly, this card is for you, says seek. And what I am noticing about this card is she is sitting on the grass, and you have been spending so much time in the astrals and cosmos and dreaming and traveling the universe, and you have all of this spiritual intel and knowledge, and Spirit is asking you to remember your body and to ground it, and to just do something really simple as sitting on the grass, going outside, taking a walk. Nature wants to nourish you right now, and this is something that is here to move you forward with all of the inspiration that's happening. And Spirit's telling me it's a great way for you to discharge energies that aren't feeling aligned anymore. Grace, you're so welcome. Tamika, this card is for you. We have the third eye chakra here. This is the center of intuition. It's our belief system. It's our truth. And your intuition is sharpening, and you're becoming more and more aware of all the different sides of Junior, all the different voices, all the different threads that are weaving their way into your mind. And while it can feel really overwhelming, it's wonderful to be able to track the thought, to locate the story, and to really choose which voice that you want to listen to. You can notice the voices, but remember, we observe, we don't absorb. And this practice will really support you in accessing your intuition more and more. I'm going to check Instagram to see if anyone on Instagram would like a card. Okay, I'm not seeing it. Mike, this card is for you. We have awaiting results. Wow. So you are totally in the magic hour right now, Mike. And what I mean by this is there's something you've been moving toward, you've been prepping for. This is a long, long time in the making, and it's just like, okay, I'm here, I'm showing up, I'm doing the things. Where is it? And Spirit is just asking you to keep showing up and to keep your faith high. For so many of us, something that can really hold us back is not having that belief in ourselves, because this is, and it's in, like, I love that one Florence and the Machine song, It's Always Darkest Before the Dawn. That's what's happening. And it's in these moments that you embrace the unknown and you remember your dream and your why for why you're doing what you're doing, and to trust and to remember, is what Spirit told us in the collective reading. It really does happen in divine timing. Ruby says, whoa, I wasn't expecting that. I'll feel into that idea. Love that. Kelly says, oh, that so resonates with me. Thank you. I do need to ground more since I'm always astral traveling. And then she says, Magic Mike. Totally. Love that. Yes. When we're spending a lot of time in the astrals, whether in Kelly's case, like astral traveling, dream work, or you have a job that requires a lot of mental energy and cognition, nature really is the best medicine. And it reminds me of the first card that we grabbed here, Grace's card of Simply Love. It's such a simple thing that we can do that many of us discount because we tell ourselves there are all these other things we could be doing. And when we spend time in nature, it recharges our bodies, because our bodies are a part of nature as well. Like we need this, like attracts like. So, okay. All right. Oh, Colleen, I didn't see that you asked for a card. Thank you so much. I did not see it. Colleen, your card is heart chakra. And this, of course, I love that it's green as we have St. Patrick's Day. And this reminds me of how important it is for you too to be in nature right now. And you have such a big heart, Colleen, and you're supporting so many people and you're so empathic. Really important for you to practice this, observe and not absorb. I'm seeing that there are so many others in your heart right now, and that is such a beautiful thing, but it can also create a lack of boundaries. And what's really needed is for you to connect with you. And Spirit saying, kick the others out of your heart. Just in a gentle boundary kind of way. You need some space with you, and everyone else has access to this heart chakra energy as well, but it doesn't have to be from you. You might be working too hard. And again, there's this as you move into this new moon and this new chapter, there's just this need to recharge yourself and to be kind to yourself, and to remember that when you do that, it supports all the other people that you're caring for too, and your creativity as well. So Stephanie says, I'm confused but would love a card. Great. So Stephanie, your card is Open Up, number 4. Okay. So first you said, I'm confused. If there's a specific question around that, just let me know. Maybe I can answer it here or in a DM. But what I'm feeling is you have come such a long way. You have a great foundation that is set up. And there is something new for you, but you really get to open up as to what that is. Because remember, like, we're talking about the unknown. Like, we're moving into a place that collectively we haven't been in before. So things can feel confusing, very normal. But to remember that just because you're in this new beginning and this new time and there's something new for you to do, it may not look like this big grand gesture right away, because there are things that you get to do to open yourself up to receiving these new messages. So if there's something that you feel would support you, but you haven't done it yet, now's the time for this. It's time to take those little steps every day to allow yourself to open up more for what is to come. And again, after Friday, things should feel a little more clear. However, Mercury will still be in Pisces, which I might be alone in this, but I really like it. But I've been communicating with symbols and enjoying this nonlinear way for a while. But things will get more clear. But in the meantime, just trust the impulses that you're getting here. So Donna, yes, I would love to draw a card for you. So your card, Donna, is nurture. Wow. So what I'm noticing about this card is she has one of her hands raised. There's light coming out of it. And then she has another hand over here on the earth. And she's right here by the water. And she's just lit up. So the projects that are just in your heart, the things that nurture you to put your attention into, it feels artistic. This feels like it's about being seen. You are guided to really trust your creativity in this and to continue to move forward, knowing that this nurtures you. Spirit is saying that the things that used to nurture you before, it's just shifting a bit, and you're reaching up here for this light, and then you have the groundedness down here with the earth. So go into the unknown, move forward on what matters to you, and just stay grounded as you do this. But also, I have this feeling that you are protected as you move forward as well. So Casey, I'm so glad you're here. Okay, Casey, this card is for you. Feeling alone, number 5. So what I notice about this card is she's holding this lantern and the moon is shining bright. So in a couple 2 weeks, Casey, we're going to have the full moon. So a lot of what may be contributing to feeling alone, it could be illuminated at this point. Also, Spirit encouraged us all in the collective reading to be okay with our solitude, and also called attention to that we may not resonate with the different groups that we've been in, or the things that we've been doing, or things that we used to value before. We're just noticing our values are changing. It can feel isolating when we're differentiating, but this is also a beautiful thing because you are becoming this new person. And with this lantern here, well, this new not a new person. You're remembering who you are and you're allowing more of that into your life. And with this lantern here, this shows you are not alone. You're carrying the light. This reminds me of Hecate with her torch. You are not alone. The goddess is with you. And it's okay to feel that way. Just make sure that you reach out and that you do nurture yourself with solitude. Okay, I'm reading the chat right now. Let me just see if there's Colleen says, thank you. That resonates. Donna says, that's amazing. Thank you so much, Lauren. You're so welcome. I'm so glad it resonates. And Casey says, yes, feeling alone in an incubating time of way. Definitely got the Hecate vibes too. Well, you two are so connected, Casey. So how could you ever be alone? And that's another thing, like in this dark moon time, like she is the goddess of the dark moon as well. So for anyone here who resonates with that, you are not alone. You are building your new future in this unknown. This is a new time, but you are not alone. So reading the chat here, Tamika says, definitely feels like guidance around my intention, hearing and expanding my intuition with my inner voice, higher self, and with the messages that unfold from guides, etc. So need that, be kind to myself. Yes, that needs to be something that everyone does, is be kind to yourself. We're all doing something new, and you're doing better than you think too. So Kelly says, I love that you're working with symbols. Sacred geometry and symbols are really helping me on my spiritual journey, and I see them while having outer body experiences. That's amazing. Yes. I hope you are drawing them after you see them too. Wow. So mapping with the moon has been such an incredible journey. I have absolutely loved facilitating this and doing this for all of us. We are in this new time together, and it's so comforting to see that even though we are all our own people, there's a similar thread of value that is pulling us all forward. And that always comforts me. I don't know about you, but it's always great to remember that even if you are in solitude or you do feel alone, you're actually not. Like we are all in this together. So for next steps, if you enjoy the work that we're doing in here for mapping on the moon, I do have a Clarity Portal community. It's my membership, and this is where I do weekly transmissions, monthly forecasts, and daily messages that I call the Psychic Minute. We also have an online space. It's just for us where we can talk about these things. And then there's a moon vault that has some different integrative exercises as well. That's one way. And the other way is through my 9-month group container called Reclaim Your Lunar Flame. There will only be 6 participants in it. It's not for everyone, but if you feel called to this path and doing this lunar work and really being able to get to know yourself on a deep level and move forward in your sovereignty and breaking free of the illusions of relationship, living what your authentic values are, you might be feeling called to reclaim your lunar flame. And I will leave the link for both the Clarity Portal and Reclaim Your Lunar Flame. It's two different things. And And you can apply for Reclaim Your Lunar Flame if that resonates with you. And in the meantime, be kind to yourself, love yourself, and thank you for being here. Thank you for being here with me. Blessings to you all.